Ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
Wait, Larry, a big one. And any shark expert in the world will tell you it's a killer, it's a man-eater.
Look, the situation is that apparently a great white shark has staked a claim in the waters off Amity Island. And he is going to continue to feed here as long as there is food in the water.
And there's no limit to what he's going to do. I mean, we've already had 3 incidents. 2 people killed inside of a week, and it's going to happen again. It happened before. The Jersey Beach.
1916, there were 5
people chewed up in the surf.
In 1 week.
Tell them about the swimmers.
A shark is attracted to the exact kind of splashing and activity that occurs whenever human beings go in swimming. You cannot avoid it.
If you open the beaches on the 4th of July, it's like ringing the dinner bell, for Christ's sake.
Look, Mr. Vaughn.
In the idyllic island community of Amity, danger lurks in the deep, and the 4th of July celebrations are cut short as danger rears its ugly head in the form of a man-eating shark, and chaos is unleashed on this quintessential American beach town. The local sheriff, a marine biologist and fisherman set out to save the townspeople from being eaten, and even worse, financial ruin, by destroying the great white death that has laid claim to Amity's waters. Spielberg is not just a director, but a producer and screenwriter. He began his career in the New Hollywood era, and is one of the most commercially successful and influential directors in history.
At the press of a hydraulic button and pulling a lever back, supposedly the shark comes shooting out of the water head first, and this has absolutely happened because David Brown and Dick Zanuck were there watching with me. The shark came up tail first.
He's directed some of the best movies ever made: Close Encounters, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Jurassic Park, and Saving Private Ryan. He also produced Back to the Future and Band of Brothers. There's no doubt Spielberg is a genius when it comes to making movies, but he is also a Hollywood Democrat, and those are the worst kind. Being a Democrat in '75 when he made Jaws is very different from a Democrat today. Like many in Hollywood's bubble, he needs to reacquaint himself with the real world. All great films are based on a great story. I loved this film so much, I even read Peter Benchley's book. There aren't many films that have managed to make me do that. A little trivia: Benchley has a cameo in the film playing a news reporter. John Williams, the American composer's career has spanned nearly 7 decades. He's composed some of the most popular, recognisable and critically acclaimed film scores in cinema history. It's hard to say which is the greatest movie score of all time. Jaws, Star Wars and E.T. all have legitimate claim to that title. There's no denying this man's brilliance. Jerry Goldsmith may be my favourite film composer, but Williams is the GOAT. New Jersey's Roy Scheider is not a pretty boy actor who looks like he would fall apart if his Instagram profile went down. In his youth, he was an accomplished amateur boxer and served 3 years in the United States Air Force. Jaws was his defining performance, but check out The French Connection and Blue Thunder. Robert Shaw is from the old school of Hollywood hellraisers, much like Burton, Harris and O'Toole. Shaw was larger than life, a man's man with 3 wives and 10 children. His kind is no longer accepted in Hollywood today, and we're much poorer for it. Check out Battle of the Bulge, A Man for All Season, The Sting, and also I really liked Force 10 from Navarone, even though Shaw wasn't really a fan himself. Richard Dreyfuss makes up this terrific trio. This is his finest performance, along with Close Encounters. In recent years, I really appreciate the work he's done to revive civic education, to teach future generations about the power of their citizenship and the principles that hold America together. He's also been outspoken regarding the media's negative influence in shaping public opinion. Jaws heralded a new dawn of cinema, the blockbuster. Many have tried to copy Spielberg's formula, but none have topped it. There are many interpretations of this film. Some see the shark as retribution against capitalism, but I see it more as a representation of a great challenge that Americans, when united, can overcome. Jaws was made back when Hollywood could make heroes out of cops, and funding for police wasn't an issue. This is back when white guys could still be heroic. Although the seeds of cultural cancer had already been planted, America was still very much in its prime. The 1950s may have been the pinnacle of the dream that is America, but Americana was still the envy of the world in the 1970s. The mayor can represent unchecked capitalism. It's no accident he looks like Richard Nixon. But for me, what remains most relevant today is the role of officialdom and the elites, the deep state of Amity, if you will. They tried to cover up the truth, and everybody seems willing to go along with the lie. They don't want to rock the boat. even when there's a shark in the water. The town's elite's economic interests trump the needs of the common people. This short-sightedness and cowardice by the ruling class could have had dire consequences for the middle and working classes, and could have ended in financial ruin for the whole town. Jaws is one of the best examples of America and what it can be when it is united, balanced, and uncorrupted by inside or outside forces. The three main characters represent America. Quint is the body, what we now call the deplorables and clingers. Hooper is the brain, the country's elites. Brody is the heart, America's middle class, its conscience. Jaws is the bogeyman, the impossible task or challenge that needs to be overcome. Only through unity is it possible to defeat this on the surface unbeatable adversary. Whether it is Russia during the Cold War or a seemingly unstoppable juggernaut that is China, America can overcome impossible odds if it stands together. There are many forces that are trying to divide the American people: critical race theory for kids or pushing of pointless pronouns. Cultural Marxism and mischievous foreign entities are trying to destroy the American dream, and this can't be allowed to succeed. The world still needs the body, heart and brain of America to come together and once again become the beacon of hope that she once was. The story of the U.S.S. Indianapolis is one of my favourite scenes in movie history, and this is some of the best male bonding ever captured in film. This is indeed masculinity without toxicity, and earns the film a 5-star rating on the Manly Meter.
It's really a miracle of evolution. All this machine does is swim and eat and make little sharks, and that's all.
Love to prove that, wouldn't you? Get your name into the National Geographic.